everybody, it's Beth and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to flock a Christmas tree. This is my tree. It's about 5 years old. It's 9 feet tall, a slim tree, and it's only 5 years old and I really wanted a flock tree, but I didn't want to have to pay over $300 for a new one. So you can see here at the bottom there's some lights that are out even. I just add another strand in after I get the tree up. And this is where we're starting. So you want to get your tree out of the box, fluff it out, and I apologize because my camera is focusing in on the lights. So go ahead and get your tree fluffed and collect your supplies. So here we have the box of snow flock. I purchased that from Amazon for about $35 and it's a 5-pound box. You're also going to need a step ladder, a strainer, and then a mask for your face. You'll also need something to spray your water with. I've got a couple of different sprayers here that I wanted to try out. The white top is one from Sally's. It's one that you spray it a few times and it sprays for several seconds. And then I've got just a regular squirt bottle on top. If you've got a garden sprayer, I highly recommend that. I wish I would have just gone ahead and purchased one of those because you're going to be spraying a lot of water. Then of course you're going to need a step stool. This is what the inside of the box of snow flock looks like. It's just a white powder, and then you can see there the little iridescent shimmers right there. So on my 9-foot tree, and then I had some garland as well, I used a little over 3/4 of this box. All right, so let's get started. You are going to want to spread a tarp underneath your tree. I really wish I would have gotten a bigger tarp than this. I already had it, but some of it still did get on the garage floor. I was able to sweep up most of it, and the rest of it is just kind of slowly wearing off because it will stick to the floor. So make sure you've got your flooring covered because it does create a mess. So what I'm doing now is I'm spraying down the tree branch. The instructions do say to get it wet, not dripping wet, but definitely wet. You're also going to make sure your lights are turned off because you don't want to be spraying water onto your Christmas lights. So I'm getting it nice and wet here and just really going around and make sure I'm covering every branch in every area so it's going to stick. So I've got my bag of snow flock out. I'm just using a measuring cup. I'm putting about 2 cups of the snow flock into the sifter. It doesn't matter how much you put in. That's just what I started with. I'm shaking the sifter over the tree branch, and as the powder falls onto the tree branch, I'm using my sprayer to spray the falling powder. There is an adhesive inside the snow flock, so with your already wet tree branch and spraying the powder as it falls, it's activating the adhesive inside the snow flock so it will stick to your tree. And this is about the time that I realized I was not wearing my dust mask. You can already see the particles in the air from shaking the sifter going everywhere. It's brutal on your lungs, so don't be like me. Remember to put your mask on so you're not inhaling all of those little particles. If you've got any branches that you missed, just simply move them around and make sure they're sprayed again and sift some more snow on there. Once you finish getting the desired amount of snow flock onto your tree, you're going to want to respray the entire branch one final mist. It doesn't need to be dripping wet, just wet enough to lock in that snow flock on the top of the tree there. So here I am about 2/3 of the way up the tree, and it's taken a while to get here, but you'll notice there on the sifter that the snow flock is starting to sort of like build up and congeal onto the sifter. That's from the water and the adhesive activating. So every now and again I had to stop and go inside and rinse out my sifter. I just used soap and water and dried it really well and it came off just fine. So as I'm working my way up, you'll notice that I occasionally do reach inside the sifter and pull out some of the snow flock and just sprinkle it on the top of the branches by hand. This is because the little iridescent particles in there are bigger than the holes in the sifter, and the instructions do actually say that you'll want to just pull those out by hand, sprinkle them on top to get those ice crystals on there, and then go ahead and respray again. Don't you guys just love my outfit? This was actually Thanksgiving night. We'd had people here all day long, and I decided, hey, now's the time to flock the tree after everybody left. So I was in my garage. Obviously, it was freezing, so I've got on some warm flannel pajama pants, a t-shirt and sweatshirt over that, and some Ugg boots. But thankfully, even though this stuff does get all over your clothes, it came out in the washing machine just fine. So now I'm moving to the top of the tree on my step ladder. As I got further up and the branches got further condensed in, it was more difficult to get the sifter in there to shake the snow flock onto the branches. So what I'm doing is I'm just wetting everything down and taking handfuls of the powder and just simply running my hands along the branches and sprinkling it on top and continuously re-wetting the branches. So to me, this was actually an easier way to do it, and I might have redone the whole tree the same way if I could have, but it was much easier than trying to shake that sifter over everything. So again, I've just got a handful of it, and I'm just running my hands over the wet branches to get it to stick and look nice and full there on top. So here is the finished product. I am so happy with how it turned out. It looks so much better and it looks so professional. You're going to want to leave your tree to dry overnight. Also, if you have ornaments that have strings at the top, you're probably going to need to buy some hooks. The branches are much fatter when you finish, and the strings are not going to go over the branches anymore. So to get this back in the house, I just simply dismantled it. I didn't squish it back up or anything like that and brought it into the house. There was very little fallout when I finished because I gave everything one final nice coat of water to lock everything in, and just vacuumed up any little bits that might have fallen off from the garage on the way to our living room. So here's a close-up of the branches. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know if you're gonna attempt to flock your tree yourself. Honestly, it was easy, just time consuming. I hope you enjoyed this, and take a moment to like and subscribe, and Merry Christmas.